Welcome to Barcelona Top 15 with bonus chapters, your practical step-by-step city tour built to save you hours of searching. We hit the essentials: Casa Batlló, La Pedrera, Park Güell, La Barceloneta, Port Vell, and Montjuïc. Then La Mercè, from the Giants to the Pyro Musical. Plus food pics, hidden extras, and a smart transport mini-guide. Short chapters, clear tips, real timings. Start here, pause where you like, and plan your Barcelona trip. We open at Casa Batlló, Puig i Cadafalch, 1898 to 1900. A neo-Gothic, Flemish-gabled facade on the Block of Discord. Pop inside the foyer and cafe for a free look and a great angle on its ornamented entry. Then pivot right next door to Gaudí. Quick note before we start. This chapter was filmed earlier, but all details are current at upload. It's one part of our Top 15 Barcelona guide with bonus chapters, built to help you plan your trip fast. Casa Batlló is a remodel, 1904 to 1906, of an 1877 building for textile industrialist Josep Batlló. Gaudí re-engineered light and air. A deep light well, tiled from dark blue to sky blue, pulls daylight evenly. Adjustable vents and windows create passive climate control, cool without machines. In the attic, catenary arches form a lightweight, self-supporting shell, structure doing double duty. Outside, the Trencadís mosaics are smart upcycling, broken tile and glass that weather well. Symbolism matters. The roof reads as St. George's Dragon, the turrets cross as the Lance. Visitor logistics. This is a paid site. Standard tickets include an audio guide in multiple languages. Guided and VIP/fast track options exist. Timed online entry, dynamic pricing, so book ahead. Late morning to midday is the busiest. Aim early AM or late PM for calmer rooms and better light. Accessibility. Lifts cover core areas, but the rooftop involves stairs. Photography is fine without flash or tripods. Respect rope barriers and staff flow. Extras worth noting: the immersive 10D experience rooms and seasonal rooftop concerts. Best shots: center median of Passeig de Gràcia for the full facade, the attic arch corridor for repeating forms, and the rooftop chimneys against the skyline. Next up, we go inside La Pedrera, Casa Milà. Stone waves, an attic that feels infinite, and those warrior chimneys watching the city. First, a quick stop at the Palau Baró de Quadras by Josep Puig i Cadafalch, 1904 to 1906. Ornate carved stone and ironwork on Avinguda Diagonal. Swing to Carré de Rosselló for the contrasting sgraffito rear facade. Two faces, one palace. From here, stroll past the flagship shops on Passeig de Gràcia and step into La Pedrera, Casa Milà, Gaudí's early 1900s apartment house where form follows airflow. Two wide courtyards pull light and ventilation through the block. Interiors curve so doors and ceilings guide movement, not fight it. Up in the attic, a run of catenary arches keeps the structure light. On the roof, the armored chimneys break the wind and watch the boulevard like sentries. Visitor quick facts. This is a paid site. Standard tickets include an audio guide. Guided tours and fast track or night options exist. Timed entry helps, but it still gets crowded late morning to midday. Aim early or late for calmer rooms and softer light. Accessibility. Elevators cover most areas. The rooftop involves stairs. Photography. Handheld only. No flash or tripods. And staff will keep the flow moving. Best moments to film or shoot: the courtyard upward angle, the attic's repeating arches, and the rooftop warriors against the skyline. Next chapter, we head to Park Güell, from private estate to public icon, mosaics, viaducts, and one of Barcelona's most celebrated viewpoints. Park Güell began as Eusebi Güell's Garden City experiment at the turn of the 20th century. An elegant hillside estate where architecture would grow out of the landscape. The real estate plan failed, but Gaudí's ideas survived, and today the park is split in two. Most of the hillside is free to enter, while the postcard core, the monumental zone, is paid and controlled by timed tickets. Here's the practical difference. In the free area, you can wander the viaducts, climb to viewpoints, and see how stone paths, shade, and breezes work together. If you want the icons up close, the grand staircase with the salamander, the hypostyle hall of stone columns, and the serpentine mosaic bench on the main terrace, you'll need a monumental zone ticket. Those tickets are time-slotted to limit congestion. Buy online in advance if you're coming late morning through mid-afternoon. For visitors who like context, standard tickets typically include an audio guide in multiple languages, and there are guided options if you prefer a human pace. Skip the line here mostly means you've booked a time. Premium or combo tours may add priority lanes, but the big win is choosing your slot. Crowds peak late morning. Aim for opening time or the last entries for calmer scenes and softer light on the mosaics. Gaudí's engineering is the reason this place feels so natural. The terrace hides a water cistern that feeds the staircase fountains. Broken tile trencadís isn't just decoration. It sheds rain, resists glare, and curves without cracking. Load-bearing viaducts carry paths while doubling as shade. It's passive design long before the term existed. Inside the park perimeter sits the Gaudí House Museum, where the architect once lived. It's a separate ticket and a smaller, quieter visit, more biographical than monumental, with furnishings and personal objects that place the man back inside his work. If you're short on time, do the monumental zone first. If you want the person behind the curves, add the house. Accessibility notes. Expect slopes, stairs, and uneven stone. Elevators are limited. Some areas are not step-free. Photography is generally fine handheld, but tripods and drones aren't allowed in the monumental zone, and staff will manage flow through tight areas. Getting here, consider bus or taxi up the hill and an easier walk down toward Grazia. If monumental tickets are sold out, don't skip the park. Use the free viaduct routes for skyline angles, and return near sunset for the best contrast. Next, we head to Sagrada Família, where Gaudí's structural ideas turn into a living basilica, still rising over Barcelona. We start outside where three stories meet in stone. The Nativity facade, the only one largely guided by Gaudí's hand while he was alive, reads like a hymn to growth. Across the transept, the stark Passion facade carries a modern angular drama that came later, and the vast Glory facade, the intended main entrance, is still a work in progress. Its urban stairway plans remain contentious in the surrounding neighborhood. Gaudí's vision was never just ornament. It was structure shaped by faith and geometry. He spent his last decades here, testing gravity with hanging chain models and translating catenary curves into soaring towers. In 1926, he was struck by a tram and died days later, leaving the temple far from finished and his disciples to carry on. Then came 1936. The workshop was ransacked during the Civil War, drawings and photos burned, plaster models smashed. Much of today's work relies on fragments painstakingly reassembled and on geometric principles derived from what survived. That's why debates about what Gaudí intended have never really stopped. Inside, the nave is already consecrated and in use, a forest of columns that splits light into color. But completion is layered. The current plan targets structural completion around 2026, anchored by finishing the 172.5-meter Jesus Christ Tower, while sculptures, decorative work, and the glory entrance sequence extend well beyond that date. Think of 2026 as a milestone, not the end. Official statements project artistic and urban elements continuing toward the early 2030s, with several reports and officials now tempering expectations to longer if needed. In short, the tower should crest around 2025 to 26. The interiors and facades will keep evolving for years after. There's also the authenticity question. With so many originals lost, critics argue that later additions risk becoming pastiche. Supporters counter that Gaudí wanted a finished church and left methods, not only drawings, to guide successors. The museum below shows how broken models were catalogued and reassembled. Digital modeling picks up where the fragments end. You can decide where you stand once you've seen the contrasts, from the luxuriant nativity figures to the modernist severity of the passion sculptures. Practicalities for your visit. This is a paid site with timed entry. Standard tickets include an audio guide via the official app. Guided tours and tower access are sold as add-ons. Prime slots sell out. The Basílica is at capacity most days, so booking ahead is essential. For lighter crowds and better light, aim for early morning or late afternoon. Midday is the pinch point. Accessibility is good in the nave and museum areas. Tower climbs involve stairs and narrow passages. Photography is handheld only, no tripods, and staff manage flow at bottlenecks. If you're filming or shooting, prioritize 3 moments. The nave when the stained glass ignites the floor. The Passion facade to capture the shift in language from Gaudí's naturalism to late 20th century angularity. And a wide of the apex works, cranes and towers together, because this building is, by design, a living timeline. Next, we change gears at La Barceloneta Beach, boardwalk energy, city swims, and the coastal cut that resets your pace between monuments. Summer on Barceloneta is full tilt. Swimmers, paddleboards, and a steady patrol of lifeguards and beach staff. Barcelona's beaches are public and free, but they're managed. Check the green, yellow, red flags for swimming conditions and expect lifeguards on duty through the high season. Walk the boardwalk and you'll roll past the city's best-known stretches in order. San Sebastià and Barceloneta, then Somorrostro, Nova Icaria, Bogatel, Marbella, Nova Marbella, and Liavant. Crowds peak late morning to late afternoon. Keep valuables tight. Pickpockets work the sand as much as the Ramblas. Landmarks anchor your bearings. To the right, the sail-shaped W Barcelona rises by San Sebastià. To the left, near Port Olímpic, the Twin Towers, Hotel Arts and Torre Mapfre stand over Frank Gehry's shimmering pace sculpture. They make a clean start-to-finish beach walk if you're filming transitions or B-roll. A few practical notes for summer. These beaches are smoke-free citywide. Local rules are enforced and fines exist. Lifeguard and first aid posts are staffed daily in high season. Follow whistle calls and the posted flags. For calmer water and space, start early or aim for golden hour. Next, we swing into Port Vell, the marina, the wooden boardwalk, and the old harbor's bridge between the Gothic Quarter and the sea. Museu Marítim de Barcelona. Inside the medieval Drassanes shipyards, explore full-scale galleys, chart rooms, and the replica Royal Galley. Acuartelamiento, Gobierno Militar de Barcelona, historic military government building, exterior only. Columbus Monument, with guardian lions and reliefs. A tiny lift reaches a viewing platform, worth it only if the queue is short for Ramblas to harbor wides. Port Vell aerial tramway. The red cable cars glide from Torre San Sebastián to Montjuïc. Book early on busy days. Sunset gives warm light over the marina. Smooth skyline shots work great here. Consider longer shutters or ND for motion. Rambla de Mar. A floating wooden walkway that swings for passing boats. Film the curve, the reflections, and footsteps for clean transitional B-roll. Center Commercial Maremagnum. Open daily, even on many rest days, with terraces facing the marina. Useful pit stop, restrooms, shade, and quick bites. Try the upper decks for crowd time-lapses and glass facade reflections. Mol de Bosch, E. Alcina, palm-lined quay, frame yacht masts against the skyline. La Gamba, Javier Mariscal's giant prawn, playful icon of the Olympic waterfront revival. Grab a wide angle from curb level to catch bikes and sculpture in one pass. La Cara de Barcelona, Roy Lichtenstein's tiled face, pop art color beside the marina. Start on the mosaic base, then tilt to meet the skyline for a neat transition. Museu d'Història de Catalunya, warehouse turned museum of Catalan history. Rooftop terrace bar, delivers quick harbor panoramas between shoots. Next stop, Parlament de Catalunya. In Parc de la Ciutadella, this redstone landmark is the Parlament of Catalonia, a former 18th century arsenal later restored as the chamber. We're only filming exteriors today, but you can visit inside on free guided tours, about 45 minutes, by advance reservation on the official site, and schedules depend on parliamentary business. If you catch an open slot, step in to see the building's historic halls and stairways. Parc de la Ciutadella is where the Parlament of Catalonia sits. Wrapped in gardens and weekend life, cross the lawns to the Cascada Monumental, Fontserra's grand fountain with early input from a young Gaudí, then drift toward the bandstand, where locals dance under the kiosk to whatever the speakers serve. In the top corner, spot the brick castle of the Three Dragons, Domènech i Montaner's Modernisme landmark, anchoring the park's skyline. Next, we ride out to Plaça d'Espanya. Plaça d'Espanya anchors the avenue to Montjuïc, wrapped by grand pavilions and that ornate central fountain. On the corner, the old bull ring reborn as Arenas Mall. Ride the lift or go up inside for panoramic views toward the hill and the magic fountain. Our next chapter. At the base of Montjuïc, the magic fountain layers water, light, and music across cascading pools, framed by the twin Venetian towers and the grand stairway up to the Palau Nacional, home of the MNAC. From the terrace, you get classic panoramic views back to Plaça d'Espanya and the skyline beyond. By evening, the fountain runs its light and music show on selected days. Check schedules as they change by season and maintenance. Keep this spot pinned for September. The city's big pyromusical fireworks finale plays out here, merging lasers, fountain choreography, and a full fireworks display across the hill, which we will see later in the video. From here, we climb to the Estadi Olímpic Lluís companies. This is Barcelona's Olympic Stadium, centerpiece of the 1992 Games, set on Montjuïc's ridge with wide views across the city. Our footage was recorded before FC Barcelona moved in temporarily, so you'll see it in full Olympic mode, track, bowl, and the surrounding Olympic ring. It's an easy add to a Montjuïc walk. Later in the tour, we'll swing by the new camp update. Next, Telefèric and Funicular de Montjuïc. From Montjuïc's ridge, hop the Telefèric de Montjuïc to the castle for sweeping city and sea views. Cabins run continuously, and the ride is short but spectacular. If heights aren't your thing, skip the cable and take the Funicular de Montjuïc instead. It links straight to Parallel Avenue and the metro back to the center. Time it for golden hour if you're filming. Next, FC Barcelona, Camp Nou and Museum. We begin in the Barça Museum, now running as the Barça Immersive Tour while the stadium is rebuilt. It's compact but dense. trophies, historic shirts, and a wraparound audio-visual room that drops you into match night sound. Tickets are timed. Audio guides come via the official app, and guided options run in multiple languages. The classic pitch-side tour is suspended during works, but the museum experience remains the easiest way to trace the club's story. Our footage also covers the traditional Camp Nou tour route, dressing rooms, tunnel, and a look onto the bowl, shot before construction closed public access. What's changing now is scale and comfort. A new roof, a wrapped seating bowl, and upgraded concourses. When it reopens in phases, expect partial capacities first, then a climb toward a approximately 104 to 105,000 all-seated stadium. The largest in Europe once again. Return timeline. Barca are still playing home games at Lluís companies, Montjuïc, which we saw at a previous chapter, while they wait on permits and construction milestones. The club's plan has shifted from an autumn comeback to a late 2025 phased return, initially around 45,000, then stepping toward approximately 62,500 by year's end if approvals land. Full completion of the redeveloped Spotify Camp Nou is targeted beyond 2026, with media and club briefings now pointing into 2027 for the finished package. In short, museum now, stadium access later, piece by piece. For visitors, the playbook is simple. Book ahead, pick weekday mornings for breathing room, and budget extra time if you want every interactive room. Crowds spike on match weeks and holidays. If you're filming, the best sequences remain the museum's immersive hall and the exterior progress shots. Cranes over the rising bowl tell the story of a club rebuilding its home in real time. FC Barcelona. Next, we head to La Rambla. La Rambla is Barcelona's classic promenade of florists, kiosks, and street performers. Watch for the Miro mosaic underfoot near the Liceu section. A bold splash of primary color most people walk over without noticing. A few steps inland, the Mercat de la Boqueria delivers fast hits of fruit cups, jamon cones, and quick tapas, best early before tour groups. For a quieter detour, slip through the arch to Plaça Reial, a palm square with arcades and Gaudí-designed lampposts, perfect for a short coffee break. Keep valuables close and enjoy the flow. La Monumental, Barcelona's former bullring, red brick neo-mudéjar with modernista tile on Gran Via. These days it's used for occasional events and markets. We take a quick exterior pass and keep moving. Drums lead before you see them. Then the gigants, the giants, appear above the crowd. Kings and queens, sailors and craft guilds, neighborhood heroes carried on the shoulders of hidden bearers. Each one belongs to a barrio or a civic group, and each has its own music, steps, and personality. The tradition goes back centuries, a mix of pageantry and devotion tied to Our Lady of Mercy, Barcelona's patron saint. Routes change by year, but the giants usually gather around the Gothic quarter. Think Plaça de Sant Jaume, Carrer de Ferran, and the cathedral area, before rolling into a full procession. You'll hear growls and drums set the beat. When a giant stops to dance, the ring of the crowd tightens and the figure turns slowly, bowing to balconies and kids at the barriers. It's free, and the mood is family forward. Grandparents point out the old favorites, and each neighborhood cheers loudest when their pair passes by. A few practicals if you're visiting for the first time. Arrive early for front row spots, ideally at a corner where the dancers turn and pause. Expect dense crowds. Keep cameras close and bags zipped. If you're with children, shoulder rides help them see. Hand them ear protection if you plan to stay for later events. Stewards keep the route clear. Step back when the drums cue a spin. Giants need space. If you lose the parade, head for Plaça de Sant Jaume or Avinguda de la Catedral. Those are reliable choke points where the procession slows and performances cluster. La Mercè is more than the giants. Across the same long weekend, you'll find castels, human towers, stacking in main squares, the fiery Correfoc, Devil's Run, with sparks in Via Laietana, open-air concerts under the city's cultural program, and light mapping shows on landmark facades. Schedules shift annually, so check the official program. Many highlights repeat on different days and at multiple venues, from the seaside to Montjuïc. If you're filming, anchor your sequence with 3 beats. The approach, drums into frame. The dance, a slow 360 with crowd reaction. And the exit, cheers and banners moving down the street. Let the live music carry your cut. It's half the story. And keep a little energy for the finale. La Mercè closes with the pyro musical at Montjuïc. Fountains, lasers, and a full fireworks score over the city. That's our next stop. This is the pyro musical, Barcelona's big La Mercè finale, where the magic fountain dances in sync with a full fireworks score over Montjuïc. You'll feel the bass from the speakers, the fountain's color shifts, and the sky cracking open above the Palau Nacional. Around you, crowds cheer, wave flags and sparklers, and some light, small handheld fireworks. Stewards keep lanes clear, but give yourself space and mind the wind. Because of copyright, we can't feature the original soundtrack here, but the atmosphere is unmistakable. Applause rolling down the steps, phones in the air, and the fountain catching the bursts like a mirror. The show runs long, a full layered sequence rather than a quick finale. So arrive early for sightlines, settle in, and let it build. A feast for eyes and ears. We're inside El Nacional, a restored 1930s industrial hall turned multi-venue food temple just off Passeig de Gràcia. Iron arches, tiled floors, and soft globe lights tie it together. But each corner is its own world. Walk straight for La Taperia, rapid-fire tapas that fly from servers' trays, then curve to La Brasseria for charcoal-grilled meats, and to La Llotja for market-style fish picked by cut and weight. Quick bites, La Parada does sandwiches and seasonal plates. For sweet endings, the dessert counter seals it. Bars stitch the space together, an oyster and cava bar for a cold start, a classic cocktail bar for martinis and G&Ts, and a central wine bar if you're grazing between stations. It works like a curated food hall. Pick a concept, sit, and you'll get that venue's menu and bill, or bar hop. Starters here, mains there, dessert under the atrium. Timing matters. Early evenings are relaxed, late gets buzzy. Dress is casual smart, and service is brisk once you're seated. Another promised bonus you'll rarely see covered, the Casa de les Punxes, Puig i Cadafalch's fairy tale fortress on Diagonal, commissioned in the early 1900s for the 3 Terrada sisters, one grand block split into 3 residences, crowned by those needle-like towers. For years it ran a multimedia museum inside, complete with the legend of Sant Jordi woven through rooms and rooftop, which are footage shows. Today, the interior operates as Casa Les Punxes Cloudworks, a co-working and event space. Public visits as a museum are no longer offered, so treat this as an exterior-only stop and a quick facade study. If you're filming, circle from Avinguda Diagonal to Carrer de Rosselló for the contrasting stonework and sgraffito, 2 faces of the same palace, then roll on. Barcelona moves best on metro, fast, frequent, and easy to read. Lines cut straight under the city grid, platforms are well signed, and trains come in minutes. If you're planning heavy sightseeing, load a multi-day or multi-trip pass and ride. Validators are at the gate, and the same ticket covers most local buses too. For airport runs or late returns, check the metro map and night bus connections. Staff and info boards are clear at major stations. The tram fills the gaps the metro skips, gliding mostly along Avinguda Diagonal and the Besós side. Buses thread everywhere the rails don't go and get you close to the beach, Tibidabo foothills, or that last mile home. The same pass works across modes. Taxis are the black and yellow cars, metered, plentiful, and reliable for late nights or gear days. Grab them at ranks, hail on the street, or use a licensed app. Receipts are standard, and card payment is common. A word on safety. Barcelona is wonderful, and pickpockets are skilled. The hotspots are crowded metro cars, door areas just before stations, busy Rambla segments, and beach promenades. Wear a zipped crossbody bag, keep your phone away from carriage doors, and split valuables. If someone accidentally spills or distracts you, step back and check your pockets. Police and transport staff patrol, but prevention beats paperwork. Keep moving, stay aware, and the network will carry you smoothly across the city. Thanks for walking with us. If you enjoyed this narrated tour, tap subscribe and like. It really helps the channel. For quiet, natural sound walks, check our sister channel City Walk Travels. And if you want more stories, tips, and biographies, explore our audiobooks and ebooks. You'll find all the links in the description. See you on the next walk.